guys, it's Sarah from She's Crafty and She Knows It, and today we're going to make this woven yarn wreath. This wreath is perfect for fall. I love how cozy and fuzzy it is. You can pick any color yarn. I will link all of the supplies that I use in the description below the video. But this wreath is so cute. It's customizable. Make it whatever color you want. Use a bow, don't use a bow. But I think you're really gonna love it. It's super easy. No wreath making experience needed, I promise. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm gonna be using this yarn, the Bernat Blanket Big. It's the same yarn that I used for my hand knitting tutorial. So if you've hand knitted a blanket and you have leftover, you can use the yarn for a wreath. I got this really fun kind of mustard fall color that I thought would be so much fun, so perfect for fall. And then I have this wire wreath frame. Both of these things are from Michaels. I will link them in the description below this video. And this is the 18-inch wreath form. So it comes in different sizes. There's a smaller one. Let me grab it. There's a smaller one like this if you wanted to make a mini one. But I'm going to use this one for the front door. So I got the 18-inch one. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the tag. Okay, I have my hot glue gun plugged in case we need it at the end to kind of finish the wreath off. So there's already a loose end right here, but I'm going to try, just like when you're hand knitting, to find the end that is somewhere inside of the skein. Sometimes it's hard to do that, but it'd be easiest to get the end that's inside. Oh, there, that wasn't hard at all. So if you're not used to doing that, you just stick your hand inside of the skein of yarn and try to pull and find a loose thread, and there is the end. If you use the one on the outside, sometimes it gets really knotted and you run into some problems, but if you use the one from the inside, it should keep coming out really well the whole time, and you shouldn't run into too many problems. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the whole ball on the ground so it's out of the way, and I will just leave the end up here on the top. Okay, so to start, we're going to start by one of the edges right here. This wreath kind of has these little metal pieces every now and then to hold it together. So we're going to start right next to one of them. I have my end right here of yarn. All we're going to do is weave it, and so we're going to go under the first piece of metal, over the next one, under the next one, pull it a little bit, and then it's going to go over the inside and then back under the inside, and then we're going to repeat. So now we're going to go over this one, under this one, and over the next one. So all we're doing is weaving it, and it's going to look really bumpy and fluffy, and we're going to do it really tight by each other. So watch me again. So it's going over this outside edge. Now you could do it where you don't include the outside edge. I've seen people do things like that where they leave the outside plain. I'm not really sure why. I like it covered. So we're going to go over the outside edge, back under it. So the goal is to cover all of the metal so that you don't see any. So now we've covered the outside. We're going to go over the one next to it, under the one next to it, and then over. So you can see the metal. The ones that we went under, you can see the metal showing through in certain spots. Like it's right here. That's why I picked a fluffier yarn like this, because it's fluffy enough that when we cram it together, you won't be able to see the metal at all. So that way we don't have to spray paint it or anything like that. Okay, so since we want to wrap it all the way around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pulling a good bit. I'm pulling it so that it's pulling it out of the skein down there so that I have more to work with. Because we can stop and start over, but ideally we don't want to start and stop over too many times. So I'm going to do it like this. So now I have a really long piece to play with. So I'm just going to keep weaving it. So I'll speed this up because I think you get the idea, but we're just going to keep going. I'm going to go back and forth. So you can get pretty dang fast at this. So if you let it get spread out like this, it's not going to look very cute. It's not going to look very fluffy, and you're definitely going to see green through. So the idea is as you're doing it, you're going to be pushing it down together to give it this bumpy, textured, puffy look. So the idea is to keep it fluffy and together. Now, obviously, this is a great craft to do while you're watching TV, while you're watching a movie, listening to a podcast or an audiobook. Obviously, I'm recording it for you guys, so I'm sitting here at a table. But I would be watching TV if I was doing this on my own, not recording it. I never mind crafts like this that are a little bit more time consuming, but kind of more redundant where you're doing the same thing over and again. It's just kind of easy. You get in the hang of it. It's similar to knitting, that once you get going, it's kind of fun to just keep doing it, sit back, relax, and watch a good movie or something. Okay, I'm going to cram it a little bit more right before we go over this green bar. Get it really tight. So this whole section is between a crossbar here and a crossbar here. So we're gonna cram it a little tighter. I really want to make sure it stays fluffy and that these the crossbars don't show at all since they're green. Cram one more. Okay, I think that's pretty fluffy. So now I'm going to continue and go on the other side of that crossbar. Now obviously it's too much to pull this and make this string longer at this point. I've woven so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a bunch out from the ball and I'm going to cut it and I'm going to start going this way. So what we're going to do is, it'd be really hard to use one piece of yarn long enough to go all the way around. So I'm going to pull out a lot. We're going to use that and then we can hot glue it in the back whenever we need to stop and add more yarn. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a good bit. I'm just going to cut it. So this yarn does not fray when it's on here, but when you cut it, the ends will kind of come undone. So that's okay. Don't worry about that. Okay, so I have a really long piece that I've cut. This is a lot of yarn right here. And so I'm going to keep weaving it back and forth. And keep the ball in my lap for now. Make sure I'm doing the right thing. So wait, hold on. This goes over, under. I'm going to do a couple of rows at a time and see if I can pull it at the same time. Instead of having to do one row and then pull the yarn, I'm going to do it like this and see if I can pull it through two at the same time, 2 rows of weaving. Save me some time. Otherwise, pulling it through each time will take up a lot of time. The good thing is if you ever run into a knot or anything, you can always stop, cut the yarn, and hot glue it in the back, and it'll be okay. Every now and then you might want to check and just make sure that you did, go over the outside edge every single time. And then we're going to keep it pushed together because look, if it splits at all, you can kind of see, hopefully you can see that. When it splits, you will see the green of the metal. So just keep it pushed together and we're going to keep going. So I'm going to speed it up again and I'll catch you in a little bit. So obviously it goes a lot faster when the tail is a lot smaller. So you could definitely cut smaller pieces of yarn and just tie them more often together in the back and have the back be a little bit bumpier with more knots. Or you could even hot glue it together or however you want to attach it where you're putting the new pieces, attaching new pieces of yarn to each other. So I'm about to the spot where I have to attach some more yarn. So let's see. Okay, so here's my ball of yarn. We've used not quite half of it probably. And so I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, so I'm gonna not leave it on the end so that the knot won't show. I'm gonna weave it a little bit more. This is the back side and do it like this. And now I'm gonna tie a knot. Let's see how this looks. Okay, we're gonna pull a decent amount of this out to use. I'm not gonna go too crazy. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully I did the knot in a pretty good spot. So let's flip it back over. So this knot's in the back. I pulled it tight. I don't want to pull it too tight in case I need to kind of wiggle the knot around. So let's see how it works out. Okay, so we're gonna keep weaving. Try and see where the knot ended up. Okay, so the knot is just back there in the middle of it, which is fine. Later we'll go and we'll cut the ends, and we can even put a touch of hot glue on it and smush it down. But I'm gonna wait and do that at the end. So you can kind of see how the back is coming along. But it looks like that was just fine to do it that way. So you wanna do the knot really close to the back of the wreath. That way it's not in the part that you're weaving in and out of the wreath, if that makes sense. But just tie the yarn together really tight when you attach it. And then we'll deal with the ends at the very end. Okay, the ends are gonna get a little bit hard to see what you're doing, but you wanna make sure it's as stuffed as you can. So I'm coming together where the two ends are meeting. I'm just gonna keep going, trying to get really stuffed in there. And then I wanna save enough to hopefully tie a knot. This end of this yarn is kind of coming unraveled from going in and out so many times. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see if we can turn it over. And now I'm going to tie a knot back here. So pull it pretty tight. You can feel the string. So if you can see this, this is the kind of thread that's like inside of the yarn, but it is very strong. I mean, I can't even break it with my hand. So the yarn is strong. So that threading is inside of here. So when you're pulling, that's what you're pulling to try and get a tight knot. And then I'm going to cut the ends. And honestly, guys, I would bet you don't even need any hot glue at all. I'm just gonna put a touch, which maybe will keep it from unraveling a bit. Okay, so I think we did pretty good considering we only have 2 knots in the entire thing. So let's see, it's pretty dry. Okay, so let me flip it over. Okay guys, so that is the woven wreath. So it's really cute. It's really fuzzy. It looks super cute. So I did a video about how to make a wreath bow using the bow loom. And so if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it in the description below this video, or you can just go to my channel and look for it. But it is there. And so this is a bow that I made using that loom. And so this black and white striped bow was super easy to make, like a 5-minute, less than 10-minute bow. It has wire on the back. So definitely, if you don't know how to make a bow for a wreath, go look at that video. It's super easy with the loom. You don't need to have any bow making or wreath making experience. And so sometimes I put the bow at the bottom right corner, kind of like that. But I think for this one, I might put it at the top, kind of like this, and let it hang down. Since the middle is just kind of empty and so big, I think I might do it like that and let it hang down and see how that looks. So what we have to figure out now is where we want it. I'm going to use a bow to kind of cover one of the knot spots. This knot is uglier, so I'll make this the top, and it'll go up there. And then I have these wires on the back of the bow, so I'm going to figure out how to get these wires through. Since we have a wire base, we should be able to stick it through. So give me a second. I'm kind of sticking my finger through the yarn and finding a spot, an open hole, sticking the wire through there. Okay, I can feel that I have it through. Then we have 2 wires on the other side, which one wire is somehow a lot longer than the other one, so I'm kind of trying to make them the same length. Okay. I'm trying to find a hole in the same center spot of the wreath and stick the wires through. Okay, let's turn it over. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So I have the wires through the back side of the wreath. We want to pull them as tight as we can. And I'm going to kind of honestly do like a, how you would the beginning of a bow, like I crossed them. So really however you can get them back there. And then you can just twist them a couple times. Let me see what it looks like. Okay, so and then we're going to fluff it up, obviously, once you get it on the door. This is wired ribbon, so it has some body. You can fluff it up like so, and even the ends, you can kind of like, you know, make them look how you want. Okay, I think that's super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this wire off. So I've twisted it a couple times, twist it again. Now you definitely can cut the wire off and leave it really short. If you have a door that has glass on it, you're gonna want the back to look pretty nice. So you're gonna want nice knots, and you're gonna want this to be probably cut or something. Right now in our rent home, the door is glass, but in our new home that we're moving into, it's not, it's all wood. There's no glass on it. So we're moving in our new house really soon, like a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna leave my wire here actually hidden, but you won't be able to see it once it's on the door. That way, if I ever want to take the bow off and use it on a different wreath, I can take it off. Okay, so the bow is on there. Like I said, don't worry, you can fix it up, and I'll cut the ends once it's hanging on the door to make sure they're the length I want and everything. Okay, so all you need now is some kind of hook on the back to hang it. And so what I'm gonna do is you can obviously part this right here and put a hook on the metal, but that might show when it hangs, and I don't really like my hooks to show that much, so I'm gonna put one a little bit lower. Let's see. So really, I'm just using this floral wire. Let's see, trying to find a spot. Okay, I was able to get the wire through a piece of yarn below this knot. And then all I do is, if you can see this wire, is I just take it, like, it just needs to be like the size of a finger. So stick your finger through there. It's going underneath a piece of yarn. Let's see if I can get you to see that. The wire is under a piece of yarn that's below that big knot. Sticking my finger on the wire, because it only needs to be the size of my finger, the loop, and then twisting the wire around. Just twisting it a few times. So let me show you. So this is what I've created. A little tiny, I'm trying to show you, a little tiny circle. Can you see that? So that right there is what is going to go over the 3M hook that's on the front of my door. Like I said, you definitely can pull it apart. You can even put a 3M hook through. Let me turn it from the front. You can put a 3M hook through the front of that. You can put a wire hook, like I just do, make a little wire loop and put it on that. It's just gonna be seen a little bit. And so I like to be a little bit more hidden and put the loop a little bit lower. So my loop is more kind of in the middle of the wreath, so that when it hangs, you can't see the loop at all. Okay, I'm gonna cut my ends now. Okay, so that is my little loop. So you can see it. Okay, so let's turn it over. Like I said, I have all this extra wire back here for the bow in case I want to take the bow off later. So I did not cut the wire too short. So all you're gonna do now is hang it on your door, your hook, wherever you want it, and then kind of fluff your bow up. So that's the important part about using this wired ribbon. You can really fluff it up when you're done. And voila, there is the super cute woven yarn wreath. Okay, so that's it, guys. So just to show you, this is all the yarn I have left from that first skein that I started. So I bought 2 just in case to see how much I needed. I'm guessing maybe it used half of one skein. So one skein, this is plenty. I think this yarn is $9 when it's not on sale. And then they have a lot of 20-30% off coupons online from Michaels. So you do not need much yarn at all. So one skein is plenty of this Bernat blanket bag yarn. And like I said, I will link all of the supplies in the description below this video. Okay guys, so that's it. That is the super cute woven yarn wreath. I hope you love it as much as I do. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe for more videos. Bye guys.